the backstory is I got used to seeing these wrestlers. You know what I'm saying? And Mike Graham, who went to high school with me, was a year ahead of me. I didn't really fit in with these guys, you know. So I went and I'd watch at the Sportatorium every week the wrestling matches, you know. And finally, Mike Graham says, "Look, you've been coming here every week." You know, and I'd ran my mouth around town telling everybody I wanted to be a wrestler, which is the worst thing you can do. So at the end of the day, he set me up with a guy named Hiro Matsuda, a Japanese wrestler. And what they did was, the first thing they did was they made me run. And so Matsuda got in a station wagon. He got like 5 or 6 feet behind me, and he made me run around Tampa Stadium 2-3 times till I was ready to pass out. Then they got me in the building where the ring was, and they had me do jumping squats and push-ups and side straddle hops and jumping squats till everything was white. And I was getting ready to faint. Then they threw me in the ring, and Matsuda got between my legs. He stuck his elbow in my shin, grabbed my toe, and broke my leg.
Oh, God.
And said, "Don't ever come back again." They told me, "Don't you ever," and I had long-ass hair, blonde hair. Well, you saw the picture of the band stuff. They said, "Don't ever come back again." So I had a Ford Econoline van, you know, to put some of the music equipment in with a clutch. I couldn't drive it. So when my father got home from work, he worked construction for Azzarelli Construction. He had to come down with my mom, and he drove my van home. And when I got home, I really got my ass beat. It was a little bit different, you know. And he goes, "Don't you ever let anybody hurt you again."
So when he broke your leg, what specifically broke?
The bone above my ankle. Bone above my ankle. He posted my shin and pulled my toe.
And he did it on purpose.
Oh, hell yeah.
So that guy broke your leg, and then you went home, and your dad beat you up for getting your leg broken?
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
No, it's just old school, bro. It's just...
It's fucking...
No, it's not.
That is fucking brutal.
It's not fucked up. That's just how things are.
That's how you were built.
No, that's
Tony
how they
took me
were.
then.
But so anyway, make a long story short, I, you know, laid around for 3 or 4 months, cut my hair short like yours, went back with the mindset that nobody's going to hurt me again. So I saw guys come through, like, I don't know if you know who Paul Orndorff, Mr. Wonderful
Sure.
is. I saw him come through 6 weeks, and they trained him, and he started wrestling. I'm there 2 years. And now they got me.
So do you have to go back with the dude who broke your leg?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
And you're working with him?
Well, not only that, I started taking him to Japan with me when I was wrestling in Japan. We became like best friends, bro.
Wow.
It's a certain amount of respect that goes along with this business if you're broken the right way. And so
he respected that you came back.
Oh,
even...
yeah, man. They couldn't run me off.
Right.
They did everything they could. They weren't running me off now. You know, I don't want to go home and face my dad again.
I would imagine, though, you'd want to get that dude back.
No, I was too afraid
Never?
of him. I was scared
Really?
of him, man.
He was like the master.
Oh, he was the
You're
man,
the student.
bro. Submissions, all that jiu-jitsu stuff. I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing about this stuff. I'm playing music, you know.
Right.
So now they spend 2 years teaching me how to wrestle, hooks, submissions, all that stuff. And
Look at
Whoa.
that. Armbar.
that's over in Japan.
Wow.
Oh, wow. So in Japan, do they like different
Yeah.
techniques?
See, like in Japan, I didn't do any of the ear stuff or the Hulk Hogan stuff over there. I would actually wrestle these guys, you know.
Is that what they like in Japan?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of blurriness in Japan, too.
There is now.
With pro wrestling and MMA.
Yeah.
There was a lot of blurriness back in the day when Takada was fighting for Pride.
Yeah.
Because Takada was a huge pro wrestling star. And they had him as the anchor of Pride.
That company, Shin Nippon Pro Wrestling, that I work for over
Yeah.
there, Pride was their partners over there. And sometimes we'd be on the card, and the Pride guys would be there. And I'm looking in the dressing room, looking at the lineup, it's all in Japanese. I'm going, a good buddy of mine, Crazy Sato, this Japanese guy, said, "Who am I wrestling tonight? I hope it's a gaijin, an American, you know." Because I didn't mind wrestling the Japanese. I just didn't want to fight the Pride guys. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because they were all big, man. They're back in the day in the 70s, those guys were like 220, 240. They were all big.
Yeah.
You know.
And the Pride was the Wild West, too. It literally, and Ensign Inoue went, and he had a contract that literally said, I think he said it was in all capital letters, too, "We do not test for steroids."
Oh, God.
They're just like saying, like, we're trying to make the best product possible. So why would we test you for steroids? Have fun.
Yeah.
And so the Pride days were the Wild West, and people just had insane physiques, and they could go for days. And
It was
some of the
crazy.
best fights of all time came out of that era. Those Pride days, some of the best fights of all time. But the best example of the Wild West of Pride was a guy named Bob Sapp.
Oh yeah.
And Bob Sapp was 375 pounds with abs. It was the craziest thing. And he fought Minotauro Nogueira in like the most epic fight of
I
all
used to
time.
love watching him.
And Nogueira tapped him with an armbar. It was fucking crazy, though. But he got pile drived on his neck, and his neck was fucked for the rest of his career
Yeah.
from this one fight.
Sapp would get tired. He'd just start swinging wild haymakers.
Have you seen him, Tony? Okay, you need to see this because it defies logic.
Yeah.
You look at the size of him. Go with Bob Sapp versus Nogueira. When you see how physically big he is when he's moving, you're like, this isn't a real person. This is like the Hulk. This is like a comic book character. Like, look at the size of him. Watch this. Look at the size of him. So this is the right away. Nogueira shoots and he gets pile drived.
No.
Yeah. By a guy who's fucking enormous. Look at this.
I love it.
Bro, look at the size of him. He was such a freak. Well, anyway, as the fight goes on, Nogueira actually winds up submitting him, and it's insane. But he takes a
crazy.
lot of punishment in the process. He gets finally gets on top of him. Bob Sapp gassed out. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no way you can have endurance when you're that big. It's literally not even possible.
He made a lot of money in
I
Japan,
mean,
man. He was
you
a
can have
huge-
endurance for a little while, but you're never going to have endurance like a guy like Nogueira who's 230 pounds and natural. Like, you're going to eventually gas out. There's too much tissue. There's too much going on there.
Yeah, he was a huge star in Japan.
Giant.
Yeah, huge
He
star.
ran afoul with some promoters and stuff, and it all went bad for him. But before that, they had like Bob Sapp dolls. They had like he was
Yeah.
everywhere. He was huge. He was promoting so many different products. He was gigantic over there.
Yeah, he sure was.
But those Pride guys, there was some blurriness back then because there was a few fights in Pride that a lot of fight experts were like, that looks fake. A lot of fans, a lot of martial artists were like, that looks fake. Like something, I think that's a fake fight. And I think there was some fixed fights.
Everything got blurry over there. It got.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like the Wild Wild West during the 70s and 80s over there. It was so different. You know, when you went over there.